Good afternoon, everybody. Today we can discuss about the structural organization of flower. It is the first unit from the paper fifth, and it is from the semester third. That is structural organization of flower. The flower, it is the modified shoot, and it is the called modified shoot because it can shows the nodes and internodes, that is different organs of the flowers, they can be also present. And this flower, it is specially modified for the special purpose, that is for the reproduction. And the reproduction can be in which the reproductive parts, they can be also present in the flower. And this flower, it can include in the plant kingdom, that is, and the plant kingdom, it can be divided into, that is the cryptogams and the phanerogams. And this flower, it can be includes in phanerogamia. Phanerogamia, that is means, that is which can includes as a flowering plant. Phanerogamia means the flowering and seed bearing plants, and the flower, it can includes in the phanerogamia group, that is the higher group of the plants, that is in higher group of plants or evolved plants, that is flowers are formed. And the flower, it is generally modified shoot, it is a very conspicuous, and it can form for the special function or the reproduction purpose. For this purpose, the flowers, they can be formed. And the structure of typical flower, it can shows the various parts, and it can shows mainly four whorled parts of the flowers, they can be also present. And these four whorls of the parts, they can be present on a specialized structure, it is called as the thalamus. It is called as thalamus, and here is the thalamus is also present. And on that thalamus, the floral parts, they can be arranged. And the solemn end of this pedicel, it is called as the thalamus. And on that solemn end of this pedicel, it is the thalamus. And the plants or the flowers which can bears the pedicel, then such a flower, it is called as the pedicellate flower. Pedicellate means, pedicel means that is the stalk, date upon unto date. Pedicel means date. It is the pedicel, it is the stalk of the flower. The flower which can shows the pedicel, it is called as pedicellate flower. And if this pedicel is absent or it is not present in some flowers, it is called as non-pedicellate, or it is called as the sessile flower. It is called a sessile flower. And when the pedicel is present, it is called as pedicellate, or stalk is present, it is called as pedicellate flower. If the pedicel is absent, it is called as sessile flower. And above that, there is the thalamus is present. The thalamus, it is the solemn part of the flower from which different floral whorl or leaves of the flowers, they can be arranged in a cyclic manner or in a definite manner. And each flower, it can shows the sepals, then petals, then the anther, that is the androecium and the gynoecium. These are the parts of the typical flower, that is the pedicel, thalamus, then the sepals, that is petals, then androecium, this androecium, and then this is the gynoecium. Then the parts of typical flower, it can be divided into two groups. The parts of typical flower, it can be divided into two groups. Which are these two groups? That is, it can shows the accessory whorls and the essential whorls. What are the accessory whorls? Accessory whorls, these whorls, they can be arises from the thalamus, and each flower having the pedicel, that is the stalk, and from that at the apex, the thalamus, it is a solemn portion, and from which different parts or different organs of the flowers they can be arises. And each flower they can shows the two whorls. One is the accessory whorl and another is the essential whorls. Accessory whorls, the director does not take part in the reproduction, but they are the useful for the protection of the plants. And it can shows the calyx. Calyx, it is present at the below the flower, and it is green in color, as well as in some it is a green in color. And then the calyx, it is outermost green in color, it is protective, and below that in some plants the pedicel, which can shows the presence of the bract, is also present. The flower is called as bracteate flower. In some the bract is absent, it is called ebracteate flower. The bracts, they can be also present in some flowers, in some plants, or in some families. The bracts, they can be absent, it is called as ebracteate flower. Then there is the calyx is also present, or calyx, it is also called as the sepals, and it is green in color or any other color. It is, but generally it is green in color, it is protective in function. Then above that there is the sepals. They can be there is the corolla is also present, and this corolla generally it is a green in color. It is also called as petals, corolla, or it is called petals. Petals आपण पाकळ्या म्हणतो. Petals, generally the petals they are green in color. Petals, they are colored. They may be yellow color, red color, orange, or purple. They are different colors depending on the species or on the plants. And the petals, they are generally colored, but they are protective in function. They can protect the inner reproductive parts. Inner side of that there is a presence of the essential whorls. They are essential whorls. It can include the androecium and the gynoecium. Androecium, andros means male and gynos means the female. Here is inner side of this calyx and corolla. There is the male and female reproductive organs are present in the flower, and that androecium, andros means androecium, that is male. Andros means male, and that is which can shows the androecium consists of the filament, long filaments, and there is the at the tip anther is present. Inside that anther there is microspores or pollen grains, they can be present, and these are the male reproductive structures. So this is the part of the androecium, it is the male reproductive organ, and inner side at the center there is a carpel is also present. It is also called as the gynoecium. Gynos means the female, and it can shows at the base there is a ovary is present. Inside the ovary there are ovules are present, and there are in some plant many ovules are present, in some only one ovule is present, and these ovules they can grow and they form these seeds. Then above that ovary there is a elongated filamentous structure is present. It is called a style, and at the tip stigma is present. So these are the parts of the typical flower. And the typical flower, it can shows the two whorls, that is accessory whorls and the essential whorls. Accessory whorls, they are also present in the flower, but they are protective in function. It can shows calyx and corolla. And essential whorls, it can include the androecium and gynoecium. And androecium, it can shows the filament and anther. Anther contains the hydrospore or pollen grains. Then gynoecium, it is the female reproductive organ of the flower, and then it can show ovary, style and the stigma. So this is the structure of typical flower or the parts of the typical flower. Then some terms which can be used for the description of the flowers, that is pedicellate flower. Pedicellate means the flowers which can shows the stalk or pedicel, it is called as the pedicellate flower. Then the perfect flower. What is called as the perfect flower? The flower which can shows all the four whorls are present in a flower, it is called as perfect flower. That is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, which can be present in a single flower, it is called as perfect flower. Then imperfect flower, the flower in which any one organ out of these four it is absent, then it is called as the imperfect flower. Then what is the bisexual flower? Bisexual flower means both, that is the androecium and gynoecium is present, then it is called as bisexual flower. Then unisexual flower, the flower which can show either androecium or gynoecium, then it is called as unisexual flower. It is present in the papaya also, and then in hibiscus as well as any other plants there is bisexual flowers, they can be also present, that is they can show androecium and gynoecium both are present. So these are some terms which can be used for the description of the flowers.